Oh, hang on. I want to get this on record.
Wait. How many people are there? That says viewers 0.
Oh.
Yeah, it'll take care of itself. There's a lag on the chat.
Okay, and the reason we had the internet.
Wait, come down.
And the reason we had the internet hiccup, by the way, I want everyone to know, because I've been complaining to them for months, is Verizon. Thank you so much, Verizon. Every day between 6 and 7 o'clock, our internet goes to hell. I've written you. You guys have visited us. You promised you would send people here to check it out, and we've got nothing. So Verizon, thanks so much.
Opportunity for brands.
Thank you, Andrew.
So that was Mark. So I'm going to add a tiny bit more logging on this, and hopefully this will make life better. Because I've eliminated a lot of things that this problem isn't. Unfortunately, I don't know what's up on Grumman's end that worked it's not the thing that we were having before, which actually full-on shut down the proxy. It's something very specific where we're not finishing the handshake between the proxy and Grumman. So I'm going to add a little bit more logging so we can hopefully shake this down better on both the client and the server.
Then everybody connected down.
And
was able to track something else down.
Okay. Well, like other people were able to connect to that same port. And
Yeah.
It was just one person, and so yeah, he's got the information. He's looking at it. But
so the problem we faced was a legit problem that would take down a proxy for everybody, but there's something specific to Mr. or Mrs. Grumman.
Or Ms.
Or Ms. Or a gender-neutral pronoun of your choice. We do not judge here.
There are choices. So, do we get to play a non-gendered character? That would be cool to see.
No.
I said be the cube, right?
Well, see, older ladies have beards. It could be like just weird ladies.
Cubes do not have a gender.
So
It takes all the problems away.
How do you translate them into German?
So I'm just going to turn this proxy loose
We are having a problem.
and let it run. It's about to come apart.
Zones resource thing. So Tyler broke it? Is what you're saying? We'll go with that. Well, it may just never work.
Lots of people just got disconnected.
No, it is a new zone. It has never worked in the first place. Exactly.
And then I'm going to start up the proxy again. See if Corey left me a nice shortcut on the desktop.
Well, it's because we don't have automated, support for it like we have for a lot of other things. Just like, anything that we could do like the first time it's Charles involved, it sucks. Stuff to make it.
Yeah, tell him that was
He asked me actually. He said, so add it. I said, no, subtract it. I even said that twice.
People end up in this game having very mockingbird zones. There's a whole reason to bring. I'd imagine every island is a zone. While they're separated because you're gonna have to go over the water.
Here's me adding a bunch of extra stuff to the little display we have up there.
We have physics. That's different. Right. Well, because physics zones is splitting up the world into lots of little small pieces, whereas even those big zones are going to be broken up into smaller subzones as well. So if that works, why would there be different? I'm saying that for a organizational standpoint.
Put a proxy client in there. Go up here in the netcode to read worker. And
you could still contiguously go from one zone to another zone. It doesn't matter. I just think for an organizational standpoint, have it.
UDP dest. Yeah, that is.
Max. This stuff is obvious.
So we won't hit that like dark hall water scene between them.
Yeah. That was scenes between every crew. Because they split up the.
Put in here to actually write the
Where their map was their subzone. Grids and dark wall.
UDP destination that the server told us to try and connect to.
All physics is.
Well, because we're not gonna, like, they broke up their actual models, meshes on these grid lines. We're not, we're gonna pass objects over. Structure.
Curious how we will handle it. Just be load up to the global file.
I should mention that the physics subzone has nothing to do with my models or
So that'll give me a little more logging on the main screen. I'm going to open up. I already have the solution open.
That you can essentially consider like if the whole world.
Open up this. Go to the UDP port handler in our proxy,
we just draw this white shimmering line.
and here in the packet loop.
The way I decided how it's work, because they could just be a direct matchup.
This is not something I want to do long term,
It
but
just kind of like they merge together. So you can't even tell that there's a line there. Or we can make it visibly a line.
What's supposed to be added?
Right, it could just not be sparked, but we could make it a little bit too close and like it's
kind of
non-zero
good.
stuff like
That's
that.
kind of
Because
what
they're collecting
some what Mark was talking about, like they made it like smush into each other a little bit.
Oh, do I get a similar plate comments?
Well,
that seems good.
I don't know if we're good at runtime, and do something we just do on
If it works in real time,
Overnight.
it'd be amazing.
the nightly shutdown.
connect.
I mean, we know how they fit together.
We know how they fit together, this is true. If we quick simulate offline, or we could simulate it in real time.
That just
Where
brings
the
in a whole
islands
lot
are
of
actually moving together and crashing into each other and separate back out while players are running around on them.
Yes, we could do that.
OVM,
With any terrain definition, it's still be offline.
Move plan.
You would just get the terrain data for specific phases and just like, oh, okay, they're just about to collide, so use this terrain data. Oh, they've collided, so now we use this terrain data instead. As opposed to generating that document.
We are going to have to do that
Or,
anyways.
or we have just like.
Yeah, what I'm saying is generating that terrain data offline as opposed to and retrieving it as opposed to creating it.
We're gonna have to real time generate it anyways, I think. At least from the other idea that Andrew went through, like the placing a building is out on a flat area. That's
yeah, you wanna smash the
you're gonna
train.
smush the train down, or the train's gonna come up to it.
Maybe you can, that's something here. What was the, so the zone is doing problems where it's trying to generate, it's saying it has the terrain object is empty, so it's trying to like then get information out of it and can't, it's a terrain object, so that's something that I think.
It should be, the terrain is allowed and it sounds to us so that I know it was physics and blocking, but that's done the first time.
Well, which one is it calling? Is it calling the physics one, or is it calling
It's getting terrain elevation from the terrain because that initially.
There's one way to. You could say we'll just have to do this for Monday. It looks like it's gonna be.
Looks like it's a thing.
It's going to be some time.
That's fine too.
Even if we did it through the server, we'd still have the same issues. We would have to train.
Okay, the train is in your work.
There's
We can do some.
try to load it.
Just for you. And you already have it. That would make sense.
You had his own. I deleted yours off.
Yeah.
And we should just leave it off the other one. He keeps trying to build it all the time. We don't do pages all the time.
siloed and made me a larger
So
one.
here's where we
The larger one anyway.
get a packet and move you out of the, get a connect packet pinging back the
Yes.
token that the server assigned you. And we just never, and here's where we move you out of the connecting user list to the fully connected user list. And for some reason, that did not happen for Grumman. Grumman hung out in the connecting user list forever.
So, you go right through the train.
Yeah, it's basically what I was doing.
Is it saying that the terrain construction is finished? Should be still out.
So, log
Check the box.
this, which is definitely adding something to log just packets where we can identify what they are and where they came from. That's a very dangerous thing for me to do because, then we're generating a log entry for every random packet that comes in, so someone can easily crush the server by just, storming the connection packet with garbage. So that can't stay, but it's gonna have to be in there for a little bit.
Yeah, well, that would explain why terrain hasn't built. Exactly. There's no terrain, so
They're not generating the height map because there is no height map for that, so yes, that's why it doesn't work.
For me, it looks great. Yes.
But the thing is,
No checks, I hear those are good.
20
I don't do them myself.
we're all working with video files, they know the video files I'm working on,
Yes,
and how they,
They had a PlayStation.
I just fixed like,
yeah,
kind of
how they,
things that I could.
you know, have one email files with all
It's
that,
already built.
if they can do it, fabulous. I don't know how.
Well,
There is a site, Will It Waffle, that is amazing. Will It Waffle. Waffle. You just put it in a waffle? Yeah, you put it in a waffle batter, see if it's a waffle. Yeah, well, I think it's more food than random household things. Because waffles are awesome, and why would you not want to make it out of something? Or macaroni, bacon.
No, that's fine. Hey, Andrew,
Yes.
what time do you want to start tomorrow, you think? Since we have, let's see, tomorrow will be Saturday, we could just let them run
Yeah, that's
tonight and then shut them down
Seriously, I got this one.
Friday.
I was like, I have only one.
30 now,
I thought I got enough for Friday.
7. You wanna just let them run all night tonight?
yeah. I'm gonna poke in a couple little extra logging things to get some more joy.
Okay, more joy is good. So you wanna take them down tonight and?
Yeah, let's
put
take them down
up tomorrow?
tonight and bring them back up like early tomorrow and
What time do you
leave
get
them
up?
up for 24 hours.
10 o'clock is good.
Yeah, so 24 hours from when Corey gets up tomorrow to when Corey gets up on Sunday.
That works. Approximately 10 o'clock.
Yeah, sounds good.
Andrew,
I'll go ahead and shut
do you want
down.
your say that you can hear?
Check with Andrew.
No, it's past. Just
Whatever Andrew wants.
Drummond is free.
Andrew, what do you want to do about bots? The combat bots have a tendency to hit some asserts, and so they don't stay on for more than like an hour or so at a time. I've been having to keep maintaining them. So I can run the original ones. I can run those ones in bursts when I'm.
Write a bad script that will open all the bots and then close them every 30 minutes.
There's also a way to disable assertions so they don't just sit there with the dialog box popped up.
Okay.
We actually I changed the assertion handler so you register particular handlers of register the dialog handler, register the log handler. So
Okay.
if you comment out the part where we register the dialog handler, then they will not actually stop when they get an assert. It'll just go to wherever logging they're going to.
Okay.
Then if we, if you make something where just, every 30 minutes the process just kills itself and relaunches, that can clean up a lot of things.
Okay.
So if you can make that, that's not a huge thing.
Yeah, I can do that kind of stuff tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
And again, thanks, Brian.
No problem.
So there's no train.
But the easiest thing would just be, actually I'll just show you now.
Did you save after you hit that checkbox?
Load tester main.
You may have to get the version of rebuild.
I don't know what that is. Giant tower. What is a giant shadow? I don't think you can build that way back when.
Oh, yeah, no, I did build a,
Actually, where do we? Oh right, it's got dialogue by default, but over here in the proxies, where we want them to run, you know, headless or whatever, just set the global assertion handler to go to the logging handler instead of the dialogue handler, which is what it does by default.
Okay.
Or you can just
I knew it was far enough to see anything.
It says it was built, so it should have.
there.
Okay.
So now load tester will log assertions instead of popping up by dialogue. Still more client logging.
So, I heard Michelle, you put the banner
Wait, play with it.
somewhere?
Yeah, as long as we
Right,
play it.
right.
And
We'll fix it on one now.
Send it to me, or tell me where I can get it, I'm gonna put it.
They would load it,
in
just
the
go
email.
wherever, patch your,
Whatever.
but put them in play and then so or technically
so, before we take things down for tonight, after you do take things down
Yeah,
for
I'll just-
tonight, can you just pretty much push all my code over to Wormling at least? I'm not sure if there's other code that's not there yet. Like the last push was only a couple days ago, right?
Yeah, it was. I don't think there's much.
Is the
There's some stuff
the
for
torch
Dave.
flickering? Dave.
Oh yeah, let's get that.
Okay.
Or might as well just do a full push.
everything.
Yeah, just push it all.
Wormling right now is in a bad state, so
Wormling right now?
because it's got the broken great bug stuff and all that stuff, right? So, unless it's on the proxy, so.
Well, it's got one particular manifestation of it, not the really bad one. Like we moved the fix for the infinite loop in the arithmetic encoder.
What we have on Wormling right now is as tested as what we have on Hatchery right now.
So yeah, let's just push it all.
Sounds good.
Um,
Shall I go ahead and take stuff down now, or do you want to
Yeah,
do that
let's-
later tonight?
let's and Mark, you want to give people a warning on shutting down servers for the night, and they'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah,
Okay. And I think I'm just going to put in some timeouts on this so that, like every, if we haven't gotten an initial connect packet from you in 30 seconds or something, we will just disconnect you so you can't stay in Grumman state. You at least like get booted out and try again to connect.
That is reasonable.
No more of this like, infinite timeout stuff. If we haven't gotten a packet in 10 seconds really is enough to say you're broken.
It's a lot of noise. Yeah. Why? Really? One second, Mike. What?
So, who's bored yet? This is how the sausage actually gets made.
I don't know.
enough sausage making is a lot of fun. Put it in a grinder. Make a whole lot of fun. And it's delicious.
Is that something a bit less delicious?
What?
So I'm going to jump back over now that we've just gotten a little bit of logging. Yeah, I'm going. No, I don't make people cry in interviews anymore. But I don't know. You've probably heard my Guar story. Those of you on in Twitch chat. Yeah, we had someone who interviewed with me someone was sent in for an interview who wasn't actually a programmer. It was really just entirely the fault of the way this person's resume was routed, and ended up first thing in the morning with me just like sticking a marker in her hand and started asking her programming questions, and she just was so unprepared for this because she was not interviewing for the job she was actually qualified for. She should have been over on the art team, and she basically collapsed, and she's the singer for Guar now. So yeah, the Andromex programmer interview made a member of Guar cry. So everyone who works for me now gets to say they're tougher than Guar. Now, back to the actual code. We had, I basically could not figure out why we weren't getting a packet on the server for Grumman when we had several times in the past. So what I'm just going to do is add in some code on both the server and the client, where if we haven't gotten a packet from you within 10 seconds, then we just assume that your connection is down and disconnect you, so you won't just sit there forever and you can try again. Because as everyone saw, bad network things do happen. We lost our Verizon, had our 6 to 7 p.m. Verizon pay. Yes. Mark's actually gnawing on a Verizon employee right now. That's very funny. Good night, Corey. So what I'm going to do, anyway, back over here on the user proxy side.
If the button is not able to communicate to the motherboard, how would you go about trying to figure out what the problem is where they're not getting messages to each other? I don't know. Look at the messages between them. How are those? Provide some messaging.
Here we are in client UDP state, and
Some kind of packets. You gotta just. That sounds like there's some kind of way they talk with some protocol, with some sort of language.
what I'm adding to this is just going to be a little timestamp on the last time that we got a packet from you.
Your buttons need to be talking TCP/IP. You know you can figure this out.
I put my headphones back on, so I have
Yeah,
tunes.
so I talked to them for a while, and they had the actual gateway team. They had like a 150 team, so they were like 60 teams. I don't know why. They just had this. So,
Oh, YouTube, you have chosen poorly.
The right team found it. Hey, you're the guys that actually won. They're like, yeah, we don't have
You give me the art power.
Here.
No, this was in Vegas. This one was actually technically a free now.
One of my favorite albums of all time. Camelot the Mantle. They're mighty. They are awesome. I frequently wear their t-shirts.
Yeah,
Let's go to a much more zoomed in section of this.
Also, isn't that how MMO drops work?
Let's see, from here to about here.
Taste monstrous thing and it'll work.
Yes. After the like.
So, right here's my sweet spot of
Or just wait another like 2 hours shift.
visibility. Now, chrono.
Except that this muscle fails to upload it, then other times out again, then someone will have to be here.
Yes, it is. You fold the dragon's arm and he spits out an egg.
Yeah. Yes.
Actually,
The game as a whole isn't as offensive as some of the other ones.
Well, I have no idea how offensive some of those games are.
Well, okay, some of the App Store
Actually,
literally slot machine apps. And then there's some
They're allowed
games
to do that because they are.
so this will
it's because they don't give
Okay,
out.
coming your way, Tower.
They give out.
this will store a time point where we like if we don't get any packets by this time, then we will just say, "Oh no, you're destroyed."
Yeah, something like that.
Give you dragons.
Puzzle Dragons is an actual game with a slot machine built into it.
The game is this
Get game first,
Basically, I was thinking I
as
was.
opposed to the game being a slot machine. Or things like
Not yet.
Whole thing is.
Oh, of course. Oh, we should be doing that with
So store a duration over here.
No, I know.
Flip over to the actual file and
can't be good at it.
Yeah, slot machines are not allowed to spit.
Yeah, you did sample time, so we can see these.
You know what we should do?
So do that.
Everyone will have a, like,
Does a shift to like CSC from Camelot Unchained or something.
Lucky you pay it more much to do that.
I could write a whole article on it, it's like in it.
You know, some
all right, so send me the up.
is that on one that's odd.
so that'll give me 10 seconds. That's just a standard thing. So then in here we have the client UDP state that is
They just made up this rule. This is there's no actual reason for it.
Yes.
The limitation on Apple itself.
Just because you don't let it card games that are actually run it, execute it, listen to things, you don't even have to see the game.
and we'll just initialize that to by default when we create you packet timeout time, system clock.
I know. Just start that.
That'll set a time 10 seconds into the future from whenever this gets created.
I suppose there are some people who say they're still in it, and you can like leave the house with certain conditions, but it's mostly just when they have like.
And then,
Supposedly the best of these players would be that quick. The goal is because you can, yeah, because you can get the probability. It's not 50-50 because it's zero.
That's the thing that makes the house.
By a very small amount.
Well, they don't.
UDP. Well, actually, we should add a.
To pay out.
Have you expired?
Long delay, so it's not just constant.
Cool. High five.
I thought.
You hire for tech
Rediscovered very well.
Yes, the ones that are more expensive.
Yeah. It's not always true because there have been some that just in the back where they're like, no one really can go here. It's not that different.
But the thing that profits them, the people that us profit is things that get to keep playing them, so putting it to payouts and conditions like that.
Places where you're going to see it like this. Is really good.
I think the real key is that if
Add
you
a
have
has
payouts,
timed out function to this.
It's like each one individually has written.
So you're the only.
like, there's no guarantee you're ever gonna head those.
I went to see the model, like, I was at I did it clear like 4 or 5 hours straight. Just because I was down.
Really? Eventually.
Eventually I lost it all. At one point I was like 300 and stuff, but I just wanted to keep playing.
Yeah, you're supposed to quit when you're ahead.
The thing was, I went there with the
You still
streaming?
Yeah, still streaming. Still going.
Yeah, I mean, gambling
So
is
you just sit there and
entertainment.
get free drinks.
Yeah.
Gambling is entertainment.
I made a
Oh no, my
I made a tweak today on the block texture in Hatchery.
Yeah.
So if you go to like the bottom west corner, it looks way better.
were waiting.
Cool. I will check it out.
Of course, it doesn't work for every angle, like, I can't solve every situation, but it just looks way better.
Because there are times when the
They're making me a new
library
Zoom.
actually
You're welcome for this
out
weekend.
more
Yeah.
than-
Yeah. We should play spaceships this weekend.
You're right. My code's
To work this weekend.
my code place is frozen.
Oh, we're okay to stop. Then we
We
go
should
to
do spaceships
Somewhere
instead.
you can take somewhere
spaceship
around
breaks.
300-400
That's true.
million.
Or you could
See if this fixes things.
And then you have to do it.
That does not fix things at all.
But there have been times it's been possible. And there are libraries that
One of
basically try to.
water spaceships for you?
Okay.
I do.
There is a person who has won.
Better with actually capturing the Visual Studio instance I'm working in. I promise that'll work better.
If you wait, it'll be free to play, so.
Prize structure.
Okay, last one.
So anyway, all right. So writing this has timed out function. That's done.
Well, I won this
Go back
time, but now I
to-
don't know how to specifically this whole laid out, so I'm just gonna buy like. It was done by like a math professional. Gotcha. So he basically mapped out how many tickets to get to buy.
Go back to here, where we receive a packet.
Turns out if you buy.
It's not pretty at all.
Your chance to get big prizes is
So it's sort of like, so even online, there was starting called Summer Blink in the past, and there was a newer version that they called like I Want This, whatever it was. And so the way it works essentially is like a penny slots style auction system where you play your skin and then there's like each slot is basically made of like a number of tickets. Then you buy a ticket for a certain percent cost, and all the tickets are sold, and they play the raffle and the auctions off essentially. And the house always wins because the house knows it's more item costs, but still, oh yeah, they're making their overhead, so.
Alright, have a good night.
Oh, you're gonna leave while it's still blue.
Not even bother. Well,
It's safe.
And
Dave plays it
out to be stupid packs.
And if it doesn't work, if we get a message about it here, phones.
Then there's actually, if you work at the math lab, like,
Okay, that's fine.
sorry, you can actually figure out like buying like a certain number of them, you minimize your cost while also max out your taste of them on there.
so
And I was able to win good.
when
like,
we
times, so
receive-
I was doing that, but then, I always go, oh, it's a shiny, like, $75 million.
when we receive a packet, we will pass in the current time, so we're not constantly re-getting it from the system. Actually, that's small enough. It should not be by reference.
We need beer in our face. I love beer.
Beer?
Yeah, we're not sure if that's money. Yeah, enjoy it. Alright. Got the elevation and stuff. Dude, it's so good.
I'll probably turn that on.
It's so good. So good.
I'm gonna watch Green Arrow.
That pumpkin.
I watched 80 and that Arrow,
Whatever it is.
It's like, but the
I'll
Flash
never
I
see
like.
Hero.
The
I like
Flash
it.
I like.
I
The
never watched
Speed
that.
Force.
Oh, no,
Like,
it's
just fucking go for it.
You're the.
Yes.
You know, when they bring up the Marvel shows, and I can
Timeout time.
Movie so bad.
No, it makes you forget all about the movie.
Or
I'll watch
it'll
it
make
next time.
if it'll make me forget
Nah,
something.
it's fine.
Yes.
Yeah, what? If you get time over the weekend and you want to do nice and band, the Christians have problems on that job.
So I will go back over here to the port handler.
Did you see the leaked Batman Superman
For now, you
trailer?
can.
Yeah,
It sits around in mirrors floating around. Definitely darker.
Okay, have a good night.
Very pretty.
I like Dark and Gray.
Dark gray. I don't know how I feel about the Batman outfit. The glimpses I did see. I'm hoping it's kind of an outfit that's specifically designed
Back
by
here,
Superman.
check one thing.
But I
Just,
just,
it's just kryptonite all over it. It's definitely cool. Like,
there's a
green
little
Batman.
bit,
Glowing green
it's too
Batman.
much robotic. It looks robotic. It, like, it's got like a metal jaw and shit. And I'm like, I can understand that, but that's not a Batman.
Don't jump for that. It's like Batman.
So he has like
This is
his
my
own
own.
Iron Man suit on.
It's very,
stuff like
yeah, it's very
Superman.
Iron Man. Like, I'm like, I know you guys want to do Marvel, guys. Take the stuff back. Just do Flashpoint if you want to get dark and gritty.
He's got a raccoon, it'll be fine.
UDP port handler runs through this, and
Like, Flex.
So the question is, when and how do we scan things to make sure they haven't expired? It's
Chris Batman's the Joker. He's in Suicide Squad.
Pretty much they're like done with Joker at least.
No, they're not. He's gonna be in Suicide Squad.
Is he?
Jared Leto got cast as Joker.
You're so excited about this.
One step closer to the sexy Joker. We haven't had the sexy Joker. We have the creepy Joker, the fat Joker,
Well, I guess they have to differentiate.
60s Joker, which is his own damn thing, but we haven't had sexy Joker.
I don't know if we really need a sexy Joker. I think we could live in a world without sexy Joker.
I mean, they're gonna have sexy Harley.
That was gonna happen.
Which one is which of you? Of all these jokers, which one? Who are you talking about?
But sexy Joker, that's his own thing. And then you have Nicholas Jackson, whatever the fuck his name is. That one. Jack Nicholson. Yeah. He's fat. And then you have creepy one. Yeah. Compared to the comic book version, do you ever look at the comic book like versions of the Joker? He's like all like spindly.
Okay.
His
Yeah.
stick.
Let's do other sticks.
He like runs at Batman and falls back.
And who is the next one?
Over in
and then
here.
You have creepy Joker, which is the what do you call it, dude fucking died on us like an asshole. Yeah, him.
That was an asshole.
Now you're Jared Leto. He's a very beautiful man. I don't think he cannot be.
Do you count the Mark Hamill Joker?
Oh well, he's my Joker, the boy. So
Oh,
this is counts. He's perfect. He doesn't need to change. Did you see him? He was on The Flash playing the Trickster.
Really?
Yeah, he played
Yeah.
like the Trickster in the original, and then he played like the older version. I thought that was kind of cool. A little bit too much fan service though with the whole
Yeah,
some of the lines. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about?
yes ma'am.
Oh, Mark, on that crowful thing, if that happened, you would know. Because I think that's hilarious.
Yeah, that would have been funny.
I would have forwarded, you'd be the first person I'd forward that to, if that were true.
Oh, one of our backers was saying, Coco has contacted Michelle and made right off it. Which would have been,
That would
I would
be
be
amazing.
like, I would have sent it with you with a message like, how can we make fun of this?
that would have,
How?
oh, good.
You should go there for an interview and like GoPro it, and it would be amazing.
That would be amazing.
My portfolio isn't even online. Like, it was taken down a while ago because I didn't want to pay for the traffic. After we did the Kickstarter, people were going to it with my stuff, and they wanted more monies for the traffic, and I'm like, well, screw it, I'm not even looking for a job, so working on a better one. Anyway, it's warm in here. It's so warm.
It's warmer than light. It's taken you a long time.
It was gloomy.
Yeah, I was waiting for the lights to turn white.
Blue is built.
just deciding when exactly I should update mine now. I think I'm just going to,
Are you knowing doing something?
well, first I'll go back to the client and change all my system clock to steady clock so it's consistent with the server.
Although you could do that too, because
I can just log in here and this restart thing.
but you could probably even do the refund.
No, I can't. There's no secure for phones that I know of. Actually, supposedly they have a Windows thing now already. The Amazon or Google. Somebody has their own new remote desktop thing. I think it's Google. You can use Chrome to do remote desktop or something like that.
Yeah, I've been using Splashtop since grad school, so that they didn't laptop and
Great.
so I could do this. I'm like,
So-
oh, nice. And that's how I ended up doing work on the things.
So here's where we get that. Here's where we get that. And
Well, you don't have to worry about that anymore.
Oh, it's nice.
You just have to worry about paying for it.
Yeah.
pass that in.
I got through covered tuition, covered rent, almost covered food.
So now just credit card debt.
Anyway, That's very not American.
Party back.
Are we saying you're gonna do something like?
We'll take some more. Let me just check where it is.
Okay. Oh, routine week of life change. That was it.
Yes, right.
Oh,
Gold
yeah.
Rush, good job.
Oh, that's how we talked about. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Cool.
Manager?
Yes.
Good
Night, Mark.
Hey,
Done a great job.
Great job.
Making more money.
It's a day. We slayed a few bugs.
yes, we did.
In retrospect, I should have just.
And down here, I'm just gonna say,
So that means you should buy them now, because the next time,
It's
and then as soon as you buy them, they'll get reprinted the next time.
no reasonable replacement.
Can't.
I mean, Ben. I'm Ben. I work with numbers.
Yeah, you reached out. You were pretty.
Awesome.
People like this stuff to make way more than this stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, we do the
So
stuff
much
that's going to keep them in the game.
So much.
I'm just the lore.
We like you, Ben, and you're really good.
I'm just the lore. I just like lure them to the game with sparkles, and then you guys keep them in it with gameplay.
So not true.
It's not even building my thing yet, so.
It's not even building your thing yet?
No, it's still building something from Andrew from the
Okay, so you can leave then.
so. Before it's done, we let that talk.
I will tell you.
Michelle, are you coming, come up, make sure you come something early, so we can watch.
Oh, don't worry about it. I'm good. I read the synopsis. I watch stuff out of I watch stuff out of work.
So, if you want it early, we'll be there.
need a way to get at the client on this. Nice thing about all of this is that the UDP state is a single-threaded thing. So to send that user.
I took, she saw me walk in with it one day. Everyone else had to find out how jacket it was like. They were all shoved into the car underneath some other stuff. And they was like, oh, they're jackets. We took the bookcase out of there today. And
Need to actually include the client.
so I saw the jacket and I was like, here, she's like, oh, this is your jacket. She was like, no, I want to take your jacket to Michelle. I haven't had it for 3 months and it's not like I missed a ticket.
So that will disconnect people who aren't sending packets in the main packet loop. We still need to handle people timing out in the actual connection. So where I'm going to stick that is down here under or rather up here where we
Can I show you my rock chain?
whenever we
Or are you just gonna keep streaming?
whenever yeah I want to finish this network change.
I'm gonna go. I gotta cancel those.
Not ready to send. And I'll move this in here.
Later.
Good night, Tyler.
Remember to turn the fans off.
I will.
I locked the.
So here I'm going to iterate over all of the connected users, or all the connecting users. Plain old super standard C++. So I'm doing this outside that little lock because we don't like to keep locks for very long. And actually the way I'm doing this now. Users. Now, outside that lock, because we always minimize time ticking in locks, that'll disconnect that client and end up removing the expired data from the array. And then it should be very difficult to hang out in that space for more than 10 seconds. So, switching over to the server. Which includes the proxy, because I can run this thing standalone. Oh, Visual Studio, why are you slow? So what I'm doing now is I'm building a server that actually has these changes in it so that I can test it against some clients that will time out their UDP SIDs. Screen. Why does the screen keep going away? You can read all my comments. Yeah, I know this is not the most interesting thing in the world, but this is, again, this is how the sausage gets made. Alright, so I've built a server. First thing to do is to start up the server. And the server is starting up. Kind of launch this. Run my hatchery and just connect to local. Auto connect equals 1. Why do you hate me right now? Finally. Okay, so I'm going to actually, I don't really feel like typing my password in. Here, type it way down here. Nobody can see me typing in my password because my big fat head is in the way. Built the game, run the game. Alright, so that's working. Run connecting and connect to my local server. It's taking so long to start up all of a sudden. That's the timeout I'm getting the proxy. Go little hamsters, go. I'm just done. I'm double done. It's been a long day. just going to destroy this entire block of code. If that doesn't work, then it's time to go home and get a beer. This looks like something Tim has changed that is keeping me from connecting properly. Case insensitive searches. Launching the server again. Please pause. Come on, Visual Studio. I know you can do this. And Visual Studio just seems to have decided that it hates me. And since it's after 8 o'clock, I think it might just be time to call it a night and get some rest and do this right tomorrow. So, yeah, thanks for hanging out with me, everybody. I'm sorry it was, I'm sorry this was not the most exciting thing. It just wandered into me adding a bunch of network timeouts. So, I'm going to leave you with what I will be doing tonight.